Record. Okay, so this recording is uploaded to the cloud one. Okay, doesn't matter, guys, because this is a new functions to teach online class. I think the online admin is trying to centralize all the recording upload to the main drive directly. Usually it's Tutor done teaching, and then we have our recording within our devices. This is straight away upload to the Google Drive, which means Tutor don't need to upload.
When the hen knew he did what?
Yes, this is new students, right?
Yeah.
Solutions PTSP. Your mic is putting on. So be careful when you guys are having a class. Do not press your space bar. Okay. These students, I'm not sure about your name. Yeah, as solutions PTSB.
Yeah.
Yeah, try not to use the mic because teacher is going to teach. And then if you have any questions, try to use the chat system here to ask questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Unless you prefer the whole recording is full of your voice, I don't mind. Okay, so guys, your part one is Ara. Hi, Billy. Yeah, because in this current PC, your all chatting system is in front of me, and then this is for camera part only. So guys, arah direction. So arah for the definitions, maksud is hala tuju from one place to another place. So which means hala tuju sesuatu tempat dari tempat yang lain. So which means if this is locations A, okay, this is location B. So which means the arah B from A is actually at the right hand side. But if you are trying to learn the arah mata angin, then this is known as arah timur. So arah tempat B daripada tempat A ialah arah timur. So which means when we try to learn the arah, we have actually two different categories, which is arah mata angin utama related to the northeast southwest, and then the arah mata angin perantaran. Because if we are trying to refer to the front, back, left, and right, that one is known as kedudukan relative, which is your bab 2. Yeah, so left hand side, right hand side, in front or the back is your bab 2. So we are trying to focus on only bab 1, which is the wind direction. Yeah, arah mata angin. So we have 8 arah mata angin. But if the question asking for how many journeys of arah mata angin, then we will have 2. So which is arah mata angin utama, arah mata angin perantaran. So the first category is referring to your north, east, southwest, which is utara, timur, selatan, and barat. So usually, if you guys are good in Mandarin, right? So usually the Chinese is trying to mention the 4 major arah mata angin utama is according to the timur first, selatan, barat, and then the utara later, which is in Mandarin, Dongnan Sibei. I really hope that you guys are trying to learn from the geography perspective, which is starting from utara, because we are trying to measure the bearing sudut from north, which is 0 degree. So a full circulation will be 360 degree. So please try to start from your utara. Use your pen. Right now, we're starting from utara first, and then followed by timur, selatan, and then barat. Okay, so this is the 4 major arah mata angin. This is pretty simple, right? So the next category will be arah mata angin perantaran, which is the arah mata angin in between of 2 arah mata angin utama. So in between of the 2 major arah mata angin will be the north, east. Okay, so this is for English term, and then this is the southeast. This is the southwest, and then this is the northwest, which means in bahasa, any timur or barat related to the utara is just going to add on the laut. So remember, we have timur laut, barat laut. So for the timur combined with south, it's just known as tenggara. So west, barat combined with selatan, this in between of arah mata angin perantaran, just barat daya. Okay, so please try to do your short notes. Timur and timur and utara, timur laut. So barat and utara, barat laut. Okay, so tenggara barat daya doesn't matter, right? For the arrow here, so how would you like to highlight is on your own preference. I just try to show you guys. This is usually referring to the Hemisphera Utara, which is the northern part for Earth, the upper part. So this is for the Hemisphera Selatan. Okay, according to the straight line here, supposed to be our bab 2 for the kedudukan garisan Khatulistiwa, which is the equator line. Done. So in order to identify the eighth arah mata angin, not the jenis arah mata angin, we can using sun, we can refer to the compass, and then we can refer to the bintang. So that's why is it mentioned as extra? So if you attended class before, right? Kingsley. So the extra here, which means we can try to identify the arah mata angin using the stars location during the night time. So this is only coming up for objective, hardly to come up in your normal exercises. Let's say the exam exercises. So remember bracket. So for kedudukan pindang is usually for waktu malam. Okay. And then for new students, I have to apologize first because I have pretty good handwriting that you cannot understand. So please feel free to ask me from the chat. Okay, for those students already attended many times before, Kingsley, Zhenhan, Hao Yi, who else? Bailey, you guys can read my handwriting, then proceed. So when we are using sun to identify the arah mata angin, then this is during the daytime. So during the daytime, only we can see the sunlight, which is from sun. So nighttime, we can only see the light from all the stars. But no matter daytime or nighttime, we can use the compass, including, let's say we have heavy rain during the daytime or nighttime, no chance that we can try to identify the arah mata angin using the sun and then the star if we have heavy rain, because the dark cloud is going to cover all the light source. So which means you are nowhere to identify menentukan arah mata angin. Then compass, no matter day or night, rainy day or sunny day, doesn't matter, we can use compass to identify. So that's why the best way is to identify a compass. So guys, compass. Yeah. So this is your compass. Yeah, goes to your image here. Okay, guys, compass has how many structure? Before I try to ask you guys to memorize the langkah-langkah menentukan arah mata angin dengan matahari. So guys, just look at the compass. They didn't mention here. This is just the langkah-langkah using the compass to identify the directions. So that's compass, how many structure? This is malam, okay? Insan. Sorry for the handwriting. Okay. Your evening class. We are not using the TDC nota. We are using the TDC seminar notes. Do you request that? Do you request before for these students as solutions ETS B? Can you guys try to edit the name and then so that I can call you directly? Yeah, so if you have no such nota, which means you haven't request, this is only for seminar nota, not for the full TDC nota. So how should I help you? At least you try to take out an empty paper or refer to your textbook. Okay, this is not the usual nota, not a TDC intensive online tuition nota. This is for midterm seminar nota. Okay, you try to edit your name. Yatif. Is it how to pronounce your name? Yeah, Yatif, right? Sorry, Yatif. I saw it's you. Okay, so guys, done. So compass, Bailey, Kingsley. For the compass here, how many stroke two? So I try to circle for you all. This is the needle from the compass. What do we call that? The needle. This is what we call the first important stroke two compass, known as needle, right? Jarum, no? Okay. And then for the whole compass, we have all the north, we have all the east, south, and then the west, including all the NE, SE, SW, and NW, right? So this is a surface. So surface, what do we call that? You have forgotten everything. Well done. So this is a surface to carve all the directions according to the bearing sudut. So this is pointing towards to the north, but actually is according to the jarum to points. So that's why we just have to adjust the end here. So known as the structure permuka. Okay, the surface to carve to jot down all the directions, north, east, south, west. So this is permuka. So the Pemuka, as long as the end is aligned with the jarum, because jarum always trying to point toward to the north side, which means our north pole is going to have the strongest gravitational pull. Then this needle just going to affected by the gravitational force and then pointing to the north directly. So as long as we are able to adjust the compass for the Bermuda to align with the jarum, then this is how to identify, oh, this is actually the east, this is the south, and then this is the west. Not according to the Bermuda here, oh, this is the south. No, south is supposed to be pointing this direction. As long as your north for the Bermuda align with the jarum. So that's why we have one, two structure. So the full structure trying to contain all the jarum and the Bermuda together. So this is your whole circle items, right? So the whole compass, right? So the whole things to cover, to contain the Bermuda and then the jarum is known as rumah. So which means a house to keep the jarum and then to keep the Bermuda. So this is your tree structure. Yeah, the surface of the compass is known as Bermuda. Good, how you? Okay, so after identify the three structure of compass, so remember, compass always able to identify any arah dengan lebih tepat dan efficient because it's not affected by the daytime and nighttime for the light sources. Let's say the sun is always rising from the east and then setting to the west. So as long we are going to refer to the sun during the daytime, oh, this is before 3 p.m. So which means 3 p.m. I think it's too hard for you guys to identify. Let's say before 12 p.m. So this is the sun trying to setting before reaches the mid-noon. So which means is on top of your head. That one is considered as 12 p.m. right? So imagine it's before 12 p.m. Let's say 10 a.m. or let's say 9 a.m. So the sun is actually rising from the east side. So you just try to facing the sun is your east side, and then opposite for the east will be your west side. So we just have to point the hand. Then we can identify which part is the north and then the south. So later on, we are trying to refer to the langkah-langkah menentukan arah dengan matahari. But now, we have to understand that the compass is the most efficient way. That's why I teach for the important part first. I'm not going to follow the normal syllabus, trying to teach according to the page-to-page from textbook. I'm just using a better way for you guys to record the important part first, which is compass. So circle, yeah, compass. Menentukan arah kedudukan sesuatu tempat dengan lebih tepat dan efficient because not rely on the planets. Okay, so the langkah-langkah is, first one, we are trying to standing facing to the object or the arah we wanted to facing. So which means object is better for the textbook keyword. So berdiri menghadapi objek yang ini tentukan arah. So let's say I wanted to go for Sunway Pyramid. So I'm standing at the rooftop. So looking towards to the Sun Pyramid for the lion buildings. So this is what we call berdiri menghadapi objek yang ingin ditentukan arah. So the next step is we are trying to place the compass on the flat surface on the rooftop. So letakkan compass pada permukaan yang rata. So highlight after facing the object, letakkan compass pada permukaan yang rata. And yeah, so this is tanpa, right? So without. So remember, and stay away from any object per se because compass, the first structure is in gyro, is affected by the metal object easily. So they can alter the directions pointing towards the north. It's going to affect, let's say, bend to the northeast or northwest. So that's why we have to stay away the compass from any metal substances. So tanpa sebarang objek besi, or you can try to rephrase it, letakkan compass pada permukaan rata dan menjauhi objek besi. So you guys know how to spell menjauhi, right? Kan menjauhi. Okay, object besi. Not just magnet, stay away from all the metal material. So the third one, after you already placing the compass on a flat surface without any metal object. So it's the time for you all to adjust this up. The parts I'm trying to mention to you all. The needle already pointing towards to the north side. So we just have to align the permuka for the words M, which is referring to the Bahasa terms utara. So just try to make sure the permuka slowly orientating, which means trying to pusingkan, memutarkan the whole compass, which is using the permuka U align with the jarum. So orientasi is memusingkan. So same thing. So when you choose mengorientasikan, then do not use memusingkan. So mengorientasikan kompas perlahan-lahan atau memusingkan kompas perlahan-lahan until jarum menghadap ke arah utara according to the permuka. Okay, so facing directly to the north from your permuka. So the last one is identify. So membacakan arah objek or just menentukan arah objek from the permukaan kompas. That's it. That's the 4 langkah. Usually it's going to come up at least from your soalan objective or soalan structure. So which means you might going to have the chance to bina your own sentences in the soalan structure. Any questions? So that's why the remaining bearing sudut, I don't think we have to highlight anything, right? So the bearing sudut is actually full circle 360 degree. So we are trying to start measuring from the utara. So utara is 0 darjah. So one full spin, satu bulatan yang penuh is 360 degree. So how do we measure, guys? We are trying to measure the bearing sudut using jangka sudut. Anyone know what is jangka sudut? Yes, that's why Sri Harish, we are going to using the protractor known as jangka sudut to measure for your the reading for the sudut. So I think your school teacher already taught you guys many times to practice, right? Always try to measure according to the arah utara, which is from 0 degree. So this is how you guys are supposed to place your protractor, known as jangka sudut. Okay. So done for the compass. So the next part, don't need to refer to the bintang, just focusing on the next part is matahari. So remember, matahari always thoroughly at the east. So setting to the west. So which means we have 2 different methods because according to the textbook, we supposed to use our face to facing the sun. So which means timur. This is your textbook. So if you are just trying to use the right hand side to facing the sun, also another method. So which means if your right arms is pointing to the sun when the sun is rising, so this is the timur. So which means your left hand is pointing to the west, opposite. So which means front of you, the direction should be known as utara, north, and then your back side, your butt is pointing to the south. So if vice versa, guys, this is the person, right? So sorry for my drawings. If this is Kingsley, sorry, Kingsley. So Kingsley is facing to the sun during the sun's rising. So which means his back side is facing to the west, no? So which means his left arm is pointing to the north, his right arm is pointing to the south. So most of your exam, most likely at least 90%, I don't want to say something until so sure. So at least 90%, your exam is going to stand facing. That's why the langkah-langkah here is menghadapi. So the person is supposed to be facing to the sun. Yeah, the 3 hand from Kingsley. Okay, because I'm trying to mention his name, I can try to offend the 2 Kingsley in this class here. Hi, Kingsley Cock and then Kingsley Lu. Okay, so remember, usually your accent is going to menghadapi object, which is you have menghadapi your sun. Okay? So any questions? So the langkah-langkah, highlight, bagi, sun rising from the timur. So which means, so tangan kanan. So that's why you guys refer, right? The langkah-langkah for the compass, we have the highlighter in yellow color. But the langkah-langkah in the matahari, we didn't highlight. So that's why I really don't prefer you guys to follow these steps. Try to follow the TDC nota and then the textbook. Pada waktu pagi, so which means when the sun is rising, matahari terbit, we are facing towards the sun. So which means our back side will be the west, right? So which means our right hand side, just I show you guys, right? That we are facing towards the sun. The right hand is going to point to the south. Our left hand is going to point to the north. So try to follow the step from the textbook. So this one, I don't want to highlight anything because this is only for these seminar notes. It's also the same methods, but usually not going to come up in exam because we can use 2 methods, either facings, either using the right hand pointing to the sun. So I prefer to use facing to the sun. This is most of your school teacher going to come up for the similar exercise. So part 1, done. Any question for the part 1? Kingsley Cook. So sorry, if you feel offended, I'm here to say sorry, because I just wanted to target the other boy, to Kingsley. Okay, so done. Then we try to cover up some of the exercises for just part one. So guys, flip all the way to the page number 7. Okay, so objective, guys. If you guys looking at my screen, right? I actually wanted to prepare all the answer for all the solar strip to an essay, but those who attended my yesterday class know that I was not feeling well, right? This morning I just done slightly recovering, so I do not have the energy to prepare the answer. So all I did is, yeah, I spent 5 minutes to prepare all the answer for objective. So remember, before we leaving the class, ask me to show you guys the objective answer, then you guys refer and then copy, try your own first, and then compare with mine. So any questions, ask me from WhatsApp. So for those students just attending for free midterm seminar, try to get my contact number. Just tell me, the teacher, I'm your midterm seminar students not going to attend the tuition class. Why the answer for question 1 is C, not A? Yes, I will try my best to answer one by one from WhatsApp. Okay, so before ending the class, so guys, make sure remind me to show the answer for objective. So guys, we are going to page 7. Start doing for your part 1. Okay, soalan exercises which is quite similar to your exam question. So guys, what is maksud arah? Anyone?
Direction.
Hala tuju, the keyword. So hala tuju, or you can try to copy from the question above. So arah ialah hala tuju. Tempat dari tempat, Kingsley. Dari sesuatu tempat ke tempat yang lain. Ya, so ialah hala tuju sesuatu tempat. What you have? Dari hala tuju. Yeah, I think your wait direct the directions. Sorry, caps on. So Kingsley, tempat dari tempat is not only the main keyword. We're supposed to use hala tuju. Sesuatu tempat dari tempat yang lain. So guys, the questions highlight is going to answer for full 2 marks, right? Just by these sentences is only 1 mark. Anyone can identify what is the page? Page 7. Carson, page 7. So the short sentences is going to contain only 1 mark. Anyone know how to get the second mark? Second marks. Refer to the TDC nota or refer to a textbook or refer to the seminar notes. So anyone know how to score for the second mark? Yeah, we have how many directions? 8. We have how many categories? So which means choose one to identify. If you try to, if you guys copy first, or you guys try to refer first. If you guys wanted to mention how many arah mata angin, 8. If you guys wanted to focus on how many type of arah mata angin, 2. So just choose one to huraikan as your second mark. Because if you try to mention, we have 8 arah mata angin and 2 jenis arah mata angin, that will be total 3 marks. So that's why we try to answer according to the marks, just 2. So this is what we call seminar. Seminar is not just teaching. We are trying to refer to the questions and then trying to write down the exact marks. Do not waste more energy and time. We have limited time during the exam. So arah terdapat. So 8 is single digit, right? So remember for geography and BM, when the number is single digit from 0 to 9, so please use perkataan. So if the number is 10, 1, 0, we use the numeric number. Okay, so arah terdapat 8 arah mata angin. So if you want to use this 8 arah mata angin, then you can use terdapat 2 jenis arah mata angin, yaitu terdapat 2 jenis. Ya, terdapat 2 jenis. Terdapat 2 jenis, yaitu arah mata angin utama, which is your northeast southwest, dan arah mata angin perantaraan. So either choose the first one, which is I'm using the blue color, which is the easiest for you guys to refer, or this is the third mark. We have two types of arah mata angin, which is utama and perantara. Okay, so if you try to copy, everything's supposed to be consist of 3 marks, then do not waste the time. Yeah, yes, how you very good. How you is trying to give me another sentence. Arah didn't use terdapat. He's trying to use another keyword, terbahagi, so which means very good. How you? Yeah, terbahagi kepada dua jenis, or terbahagi kepada, if you don't want to use dua jenis, terbahagi kepada arah mata angin utama dan arah mata angin perantaran. That's how you shorter and much more simplified. This is what we call learning. Yeah, we have communications, not just going to receive the full answer from teacher only. You guys can try to provide your own opinion. So that's why we are trying to come up with the best solution. Yeah, good try, Harry. So Sri Harish, read your own answer again. Arah terdapat 8 mata, sorry, 8 arah mata angin, iaitu angin utama and perantaran. We have 8. Then you just try to mention 2, which is utama and perantaran. So which means this is the second mark. This one supposed to be a third mark. If you mention the second mark for 8 arah mata angin, then don't need to mention the 2 category. Can Sri Harish? Can break up to Tama and the Utama and Perantaran. The question just require for 2 marks. You try to give more marks, which means, Harish, the question's asking for 2 marks. You try to hentamkan all the marks here, then you can get 100 marks from the 2 marks question here. Is it possible? Not making any sense, right? So the question asking for 2 marks, then you give them 2 marks to the question now. Okay, so even though you try to write more points, it's not relevant. Okay, so next one. Do we still have to go through all the arah mata angin utama, guys? Utama, perantara. Let's try the minimum. Definitely like Kingsley. So that's why the question is going to request for 4 marks. Then you just try to mention, oh, arah mata angin perantaran here. So from 4 marks here, we try to mention only 3 marks, where you can try to answer for 4. Or you try to answer for another perantaran here in the utama. Then this is the only maximum marks for the correct one of 4. Okay, so it's not right the minimum, it's just right according to the marks. So if let's say you have only time to memorize only for the keyword hara tuju, but if forgotten, we have 8 arah mata angin, 8 arah mata angin. So you try to write down 1 marks, at least you still getting the 1 marks here. You are not going to score for full marks because you forgotten we have 8 arah mata angin. So up to you all, but try to score as many as possible, but try to fit the requirement for the question. Okay, so arah mata angin utama, we have the north, which is utara, and then the east timur, south selatan, and then the west is barat. So guys, before we continue to the arah mata angin perantaran, what is the degree for utara? Really? Jenhan, you on and off for the camera. Yeah, so this is not only for your 0 degree, guys. Thank you, kind of 0 or 360 degree. So next one, how about timur? Timur is only 90 degree. So which means selatan is 0 and half of 100, sorry, half of 360. So half of 360, which means 280 degree. No? So for barat is 270 degree. Okay, so what is the arah mata angin perantaran? So which means from 0 to 90 degree, half is only 45 degree. So what's 45 degree? Timur, lalu right. So what is the half within 90 and 180 degree? So the sudut within 90 and 180 is known as your tenggara, right? Tenggara. So tenggara is 100 and anyone? Just use it 90 degree plus another 45 degree, right? So which is 135 degree. Or you can use 180 degree minus 45 degree. Still equals to the 135 degree, which is referring to your Tenggara. So next one, in between of 180 to 270. So this is your 200 and 180 plus another 45. Can refer to your Barat Daya, right? So Barat Daya 225. Barat Daya 225 degree. So the last one, which is 315 degree, right? Known as your Barat Laut. So try your best to identify all the bearing sudut according to the arah mata angin, no matter it's utama or perantara. Done. So next one, burung merpati. So guys, anyone know understand what is burung merpati? Burung merpati. Okay, yeah, same. You don't know, I also don't know. So we just can I try to understand this is a burung. Is it seagulls? Yeah. So yeah, it's just a bird that can fly because the only two birds that cannot fly is penguin and then ostrich. So burung merpati is not penguin, it's not ostrich, so that's why they can fly. So they can fly to the arah tengah tempat. So I just assume this burung merpati is something the bird which is can fly into a long distance, let's say crane. You guys know what is crane, right? Not the tower crane, it's a pigeon. Is it, Matthew? Serious, burung merpati is a pigeon. Okay, I thought it's a crane. So guys, my bahasa is not that good. So merpati, I don't care. It's just a bird. Can fly to the correct directions within a short time. So dengan cepat. So dia ada keempat cara tersebut. So guys, how? This is what we call K-bar question. You guys can using your right pen to jot down. This is what we call K-bar direction. So first one, why the bird can try to fly according to the direction? We already have two methods.
Penglihatan visual.
Yeah, sun. So that's why during the daytime, they are trying to fly according to the sun direction, which is sunrise and then sunset. Okay. So right now, try to write down the point form first. Mengikut arah matahari. Okay, other than that, something similar to the compass. Don't tell me that, oh, the broom tried to fly at the same time, tried to carry a compass to recognize the direction. No, their body is actually born with the talent. They can identify the gravity force. So that's why you can write down, which is
Medan magnet.
their body is working something like magnet. They're attracted to the directions, which is if not mistaken, the direction is according to east or something known as northeast or southeast, just referring to the east. So which means when the other area is going to have winter, then they are going to fly towards to the east side. One thing is, according to the scientists to explain, because east side always trying to chase the sun. Daytime, other than that, their body just have the magnet force trying to attract by the east side, where supposedly it's going to attract by the north gravity, right? But actually, our south pole also have the gravity. So that's why they just try to avoid the two gravity, then they can try to fly towards to the east side, or maybe northeast or southeast. Okay, so tarikan gravity or tarikan magnetic, just magnetic, because it's not gravity force, it's like magnetic force. Okay, so the third one, anyone? They are the magic compass. Stars, usually bird is trying to rest when the sun is setting, right, during the night time. So they are not going to look at the star. They are trying to fly towards to the east according to the wind pressure. So it's known as Daya. Oh, sorry, not Daya because it's not just false Daya. Just Pembiasan, pembiasan,
Deria bau.
angin, pembiasan angin. They can try to feel the air pressure or maybe the humidity within the air. They can try to find to the correct directions. So this is not going to prepare in the full answer because 100% this question just came out right. Not going to come up in exam, I swear. Not going to come up. So if really come out in exam, then I buy you guys the milk tea is too over. No, no, no. Just try to give you guys lesson homework for my current students. So the last one, wait, I think the last one is if they really have to travel during the nighttime, they are going to see not only the star and then the moon also. This is something I read from, not read that I watch from the YouTube clips. Busybody uncle, right? So I'm watching from the clips. Sometimes pigeon is trying to fly during nighttime according to the moon assist with the star. So that's right. Just write up kedudukan. So this is something not going to really come up for the exam. Not refer to the geography syllabus anyway. So kedudukan bulan first, bulan and then the star, kedudukan bulan dan this is dan sorry bulan dan star is bintang. Okay. Delia rasa ada. Delia rasa is actually trying to sense, right? Yeah, they are trying to use the sensing from their maybe nose or maybe their feathers, try to feel the air. So that's why just I try to mention. Yeah. I forgot your name again because you're just using the fake name here. Isolation. Yeah, how to
Yatho.
Okay, your name is Yatif. I'm
Yes.
supposed to use your full name. So Yatif, pembiasa angin is kind of like the sensing receptor. Okay, so this four, I think that's the 4 marks here. Yang keempat cara. So don't need to focus on how to bina ayat. Not going to come out in exam. This is something irrelevant. Just identify the first one, second one, and then the last one is what human can use. Okay. Yeah. Next one, E is matahari terbit. Sorry, matahari terbit. So you are facing, so the keyword bracket, you are facing to the matahari terbit. This is something similar to the exam question. So if you are facing to the sun rising, so what is the arah hadapan? I think this is super easy, right? Arah hadapan, you're facing when the sun is rising. So this is 100% timur, right? Harish, how is it becoming utama? You want to mention utara, is it? Sunrise from north. Sun is trying to self-rotate from west to the east. That's why we are living on the earth crust, the permukaan bumi. We can see the sun is setting to the west from rising from the east. So sunrise from the east, setting to the west is because earth self-rotating from west to the east. Your primary science learned before, right? So what is the arah hadap belakang? So opposite of timur will be barat, right? Simple. So guys, additional question. Tangan. So tangan kiri, which direction? And then we have another tangan kanan. So tangan kiri is, so just assume that this is the sun. Okay, so just as I draw right the stickman. So stickman is watching facing to the sun. So his butt belakang is facing to the west barat. So which means his left hand pointing to the north, and then his right hand is pointing to the south. So tangan kiri utara. So tangan kanan selatan. Okay, no problem. So if you really can identify the directions, try to draw up similar with what I'm drawing now. I try my best to draw up, guys. So another 4 marks. How did the Arab people menentukan arah bracket pada waktu malam within the desert, padang pasir? So anyone? This is actually from only TDC Nota. Okay, we have 4 marks here. So anyone? Okay, according to the stars, because Buruj is also referring to stars, right? Just trying to form the horoscope. Okay, so try your best to copy. This might be coming up in the exam quite often. Wait lah. So it's langkah-langkah. Let me try to highlight the full answer for you all. This is wait, 2000. Do we have the nota for this part? Okay, so guys, let's try to write down kedudukan Buruj first lah. This is using matahari. Okay, so 4 marks pada waktu malam, wujudnya bintang bintang kan di langit, yaitu dikenali sebagai buruj yang um, kedudukannya tepat pada arah tertentu. Okay, so this is the first part you guys have to learn. So other than this, oleh itu orang Arab boleh menentukan buruj yang terdapat di arah tertentu pada langit untuk menentukan arah yang ingin ingin ingin, so they are trying to reach that yang ingin pergi. So that's it. So this is your 2 marks only, guys, because this is usually the traditional people. So 2 marks here because we wanted to add on another info, which is pada zaman sekarang, which means zaman modern. Okay, pada zaman modern, which is the recent years, orang Arab pula dapat menggunakan kompas yang tepat menentukan arah daripada tarikan graviti bumi untuk just daripada tarikan graviti bumi lah untuk utara. That's it. This is another 2 more marks. So last time they are just referring to the buruj, which is the horoscope, the stars, and then now they are trying to use the compass. Okay, so it's time to enter the second chapter. So we still have a lot of chapter to refer. I think I'm going to go through quickly from all the nota parts and try to focus more on the exercises. So guys, second chapter. Done copy, then flip to your page number 1. That if you read to the page right, page number 1, your bab 2 is kedudukan. Done? Zhe, the rest just yeah. So those already done. Click to page one. Just on the bottom is page 0. So now it's the page 1. Matthew, ready, guys? Because I still look at the camera, so that's why if you guys able to on camera, it's easier for me to identify whether you guys still copying or not. Can I Hong you? And then Kingsley Cook. And so bab 2, kedudukan, keyword. Dan tempat letak sesuatu tempat atau sesuatu objek. Okay, Kingsley, both Kingsley done copy. So the rest, if you still haven't done copy, try to take a screenshot. So we have to rush for more syllabus and then more content. So kedudukan is tempat letak sesuatu objek atau tempat. So usually we are trying to identify the kedudukan relative. Keyword is front, hadapan, back, belakang. So kiri or kanan. So guys, I think your exam also going to accept. Hadapan, the front is going to known as depan tu. So depan or hadapan is the same thing, right? So exam, 2 types of questions. One, this is the easiest one, which is the most common in the exam, according to the classroom. So guys, in this classroom, where is the front? Which direction is front?
Hadapan.
Yes, which directions? Your hadapan is referring to
The papan
papan
tulis.
tulis and the major guru. But sometimes your exercises, let's say a school exam paper, they are going to show papan tulis is here, but the major guru is at the back side. So which one is hadapan for the class? Still referring to the papan tulis. Okay. So other than that, let's say the exam questions, who is at the back of Malay? So according to the papan tulis, belakang Malay is Rohaizio. So that's why the keyword is dari. So from where to where? So this is the easier way to ask within the question, within the exam question. So the other parts will be, I showed within the normal class before, they are using building to refer to the kedudukan relative. So later on, we try to flip that and then try to identify all the kedudukan relative according to the bangunan. So this is the first one within the class. So the second version will be tougher. So the tougher one is according to the bangunan. So which is bangunan, we have to refer to what, guys? The second type of exercises, if this is bangunan, what should we try to refer to? Bangunan refer to the connect to the jalan raya. We try to find the front entrance for the building. So according to the jalan raya or according to the pintu, the main gate. According to the bangunan. Okay, so next part will be your 2.2, which is latitude and longitude. So which means we have 5 latitude and then 2 longitude. So what is the 5 latitude? So all the 5 latitude yang horizontal, right? So known as mendatar or melintang. So mendatar or melintang is latitude. So that's why 0 degrees Celsius. Sorry, Celsius pula. 0 degree is the equator known as garisan khatulistiwa. So above the equator is known as hemisfera utara. So below the khatulistiwa is hemisfera selatan. So that's why we are trying to memorize the Arctic, Selatan, Khatulistiwa, Jani, and Antarctic. So the ASKJ is supposed to be your motto as a student. You guys know what is motto, right? You guys know what is motto. So motto as a student is, what's the standard? Yeah, Matthew, let's check whether we have the exercise or not. So let me try to find some exercises. Not from here. Yeah, I show from the TDC nota, okay? Just a moment, guys. TDC nota. Okay, form 1, January. So that's the latihan part. Okay, just a moment, guys. according to the canonical relative from bangunan, right? We have to find the main entrance so that we can identify the canonical relative line. Okay, this is bearing sudut. Okay, so let's say this is still bearing sudut, right? So according to this exercise from the screen, right? Okay, what is the bangunan di hadapan hospital? Anyone? Bangunan hospital. I'm trying to use the annotate. So this is hospital, right? So the first entrance and the Jalan Raya. So in front of hospital is Kampung Aman. You get what I mean now? Matthew? Okay. So other than this question, what is the next cut going to come up in the exam? So let me try to scroll for other better contour. It's still arah mata angin. So let's see your bab 2. Bab 2. Okay. Okay, another part. Okay. Canonical relative. So, sekolah terletak di sebelah balai polis. So, what is the canonical relative for questions A? Eraser. So, look at the screen. Sekolah terletak di sebelah balai polis. So, this is your sekolah. This is your balai polis. So, which means this is front. Then this is back of balai polis. So, which means sekolah terletak di kiri. So, the answer will be kiri. I couldn't write on the screen so easily. So the answer here will be kiri. Understand? Matthew? So hard for me to type. That is kiri. Can I? So I'm not going to repeat for the canonical relative. So next one we move on to the latitude and longitude because we have to learn how to we have to learn how to combine the latitude and longitude to find out the canonical, something like this kind of question to come up in your exercises. Okay? So back to the nota. We have 5 latitude. So this is all your latitude. Yeah, 5-ish. 5 garisan latitude. So that's why as a motto for my students, whenever you guys find out anything you guys not understand, then you try to ask immediately. So which means just try to ask ja. So the ask ja, ask sahaja, which is your article first, and then satan khatulistiwa. So this is your ASK, ask. So JA is sahaja punya ja. So the A, we have 2 types. One is article, one is antartic, right? So remember, in order to build a better foundation, so the foundation has to be longer. So that's why antartic is longer, arctic is shorter. On top here is arctic, below is antarctic. That's why ask ja for your 5 latitude. But for your longitude, yeah, so longitude is 2. So longitude is 2, right? Which is your GMP and then GTA. So right now, GMP also known as your, whether in your nota, GMG, which is Garida Meridian, the Panggal, similar with your Greenwich, GRENWICH. So you have 2 different names for the 0 degree longitude. So remember, longitude is from your North Pole to your South Pole here. So let's say this is South Pole. So North Pole to the South Pole. So 0 degree is your GMP, Garissa Meridian Panggal, also known as a GMG, Garissa Meridian Greenwich. Okay, so opposite of 0 degree will be a 180 degree, is known as a GTA. So we have the GMP, we have the GTA. So GTA for the 180 degree, we have to mention B stroke T, which is left hand side is barat, right hand side is timur. So that's why the purpose for the longitude yang menegak. What is menegak? Menegak GAK. Yeah. So garisan for the longitude, garisan menegak. Okay, front part is 0 degree. So the back line will be 180 degree. T stroke B or B stroke T doesn't matter. Just in between of barat and timur. So this is the differences longitude compared to the latitude. Longitude is half circle. North pole to the South pole, half circle. So 0 degree, GMP, right? GMG, right? So 180 degree T stroke B is GTA. It's only half line, not put to the south full, but all the 5 latitude you guys are trying to draw is actually one full circle. It's one full circle. So that's why this line is not accurate. So if you guys able to, just don't need to draw, just make sure you guys able to learn that all the latitude is going to become a full circle. Full circle, full circle, full circle, full circle, since the whole earth is a sphere shape. Okay? Can I? So the purpose for the latitude, we have to mention U or S, which is menentukan the bahagian utara and selatan for the bumi. And longitude pula is trying to menentukan the bahagian barat and then bahagian timur for the bumi. So the differences, one full circle, half circle. Okay? Okay, so this is your page 1. Okay? Can? No questions, right? So this is all about two. Kingsley, very sleepy. Time to get some candy and then some beverage. So the rest, they follow. So time to do some exercises for about two. So guys, kedudukan. What's the maksud for kedudukan? That's how we just show, right? Is it going to rain soon? This is going to become super good because the weather is quite warm. So guys, I'm waiting for your answer. It's raining right now, but not for my UA. I just hear the thunder sound, but it's not raining, but it's good for me. I feel very warm now. So guys, yes, Kingsley?
Teacher, kedudukan ialah tempat letaknya sesuatu objek dalam sesuatu
Object,
kawasan.
tempat, right? So the keyword, good. Okay, so guys, copy from the screen. Kedudukan jalan. Kedudukan jalan. Dah. So kedudukan jalan. Keyword tempat letak sesuatu object. So that's it. So if you don't want to memorize object, choose one to memorize object atau tempat. So if you're really able to memorize both, then use atau tempat. So usually I just lazy, then I'm just going to make sure tempat because most of the exercises is referring to the tempat for kedudukan. So that's second mark. So what's the second mark? So kedudukan. What's the second mark?
Kedudukan relatif
Very good.
ditentukan dengan merujuk titik rujukan.
Kemudian relatif dapat ditentukan dengan titik rujukan daripada front is known as hadapan. So if you don't use hadapan, you can use depan. So we have hadapan, depan. So remember from your arah mata angin, right? So we have the utara that's known as depan. Then your timur is known as your kanan. So your selatan is known as your belakang. Dan so your left hand side barat is your kiri. So usually I try to recommend students to memorize the arah mata angin according to the north, east, south, west. Then this is our front, right, back, and left. Okay, so this is all your kedudukan relative. That's my own preference. Yeah, so if you wanted to mention hadapan, belakang, kiri, kanan, yes, you need to follow my preference if you guys don't like my method. Done. So what's kedudukan relative? Not FE. They are not VE, it's just on the F. So kedudukan relative, 3 marks. Anyone? Kedudukan relative? Kedudukan relative. We try to repeat the same answer again. Okay, kedudukan relative mempunyai tempat titik rujukan Yaitu, so just now we already mentioned, right? Harapan. Kita- Harapan depan. Okay. Then kanan, belakang, dan kiri yang dapat ditentukan daripada rujukan titik. Rujukan daripada titik rujukan. So that's it. Yeah, it's quite similar, right? That's why if you're able to mention the kedudukan, then you don't need to mention kedudukan relative. So the only differences is kedudukan is tempat letak one object. So we just referring to the titik rujukan is referring to the object or tempat. Then with the titik rujukan, we can identify the depan, kanan, kiri, or belakang. Okay, so assume, andaikan, so the main character is Nadia. So Nadia is titik rujukan. So remember bracket titik rujukan. So what's the kedudukan relative for all the Jinwei, Ikwan, Batlu, and then Swina? So we try to plot on the exercises. Nadia is the titik rujukan. So Nadia is titik rujukan. So that's why this is something different than I show you guys from the nota, right? So the front is according to the students, not according to the papan tulis anymore. So circle the papan tulis, not referring to the papan tulis because kedudukan for students, murid-murid is different, not trying to facing the papan tulis. So in front Nadia is Junwei. So Ikwan is kiri. Badu is kanan. Swina is belakang. So kedudukan Junwei is hadapan. Okay, slash depan. So for Ikwan is kiri. For Badu is kanan. And then Swina is belakang. Simple, right? So next questions. We are using tempat duduk tan as a titik rujukan. So all the kedudukan relative for Ivan, Dennis, Swina, and Batwu. So try to plot tan. Tan is here. So front of tan, Dennis. So belakang tan is Batwu. So our right is Ivan, but the directions from tan is opposite of our directions, right? Because we are facing north, which is hadapan, but opposite from tan, then our kanan will be his kiri. So our right hand side is the timur side, timur direction. But according to tan, Ivan is at his left hand side. So this is Ivan for the left, Suina is at his right hand side. So Suina is right hand side, kanan. Okay, left hand side is Ivan, kiri. So Dennis is within his front. So Dennis is hadapan or depan, hadapan slash depan. So Bakru, last one will be his backside, belakang. So the last one will be murid yang duduk di hadapan. So di hadapan Ivan. So Ivan in front, Liana. So this is Liana. So murid di sebelah kanan Lina. So di sebelah kanan Lina, Lina is here. So di kanan Lina, wait, let me refer one more time. Di sebelah kanan Lina. So Lina is facing down south. So this is his right hand side, which is our left hand side. So answer is Junwei. Okay, so Haziq Tutu di Ikwan. So which side of Ikwan? So Ikwan will be the titik rujukan, right? So Ikwan is here. So the question asking for Haziq. So Haziq Tutu di, so Ikwan facing to the Liling. So which means Haziq Tutu di belakang Ikwan. So this is belakang Ikwan. Okay, so the last question. Dennis duduk di sebelah. So Dennis to di sebelah. So whose direction? So the keyword, the titik rujukan is Liana. So Liana as the titik rujukan, Liana is here. So the question asking for Dennis. So Liana facing front, which is Ivan. So Dennis sitting at her left hand side. So di sebelah kiri Liana. So di sebelah kiri Liana. Okay. So according to the Jenny as titik rujukan, so Pavin, Pak Ru, and Ivan. So this is your last question, right? So Jenny as a titik rujukan. Okay, so we are trying to find for Pavin. Who else are Pavin, Pak Ru, and Ivan? So Pavin, Pak Ru, and Ivan. So Jenny is facing to the path, facing front, which is Pavin. So Pavin is in the front at the front of Jenny. So left hand side is Pak Ru, belakang is Ivan. So Ivan is at belakang. So Pak Ru is left hand side kiri. So Pavin is front, depan or depan, up to your preference. Simple, right? So this is all the kedudukan, just using the classroom as a contour. So just like I show you guys in the exam questions that by using the building as a contour. So we have insufficient exercise to try. So try your best to do your school exercises. Next one is your 2.2, which is trying to learn all the latitude and longitude, right? So this is your A, S, K, J, A. So your longitude, Kutub Utara for the 0 degree, and then they didn't have the 180 meter degree. So remember 180 meter degree, let's say this is 180 meter degree, right? We have to insert the left and right, which is left is Barat, right is Timur. So for the kosong darjah, don't need to mention left or right, just like the equator, Khatulistiwa, we don't need to mention U stroke S, Catholic. Okay, so that's why we have the Utara for U, we have the Selatan for S, for both the Arctic and Selatan, and then the Jadi with the Antarctic. Then we just mentioned as the Selatan. So 2x, what is the Karisan latitude? So for P is, in exam, please write down Karisan. So I'm just going to write down one time, Karisan Arctic. So Karisan Arctic is your P. So the remaining one, I'm just using G dot. So Q is your ASK, right? ASK, JA. So S is Sartan. K is equator, Khatu, Listiva. So J is Jadi. So the base, the foundation is longer A, known as Antarctic. Because Antarctica is the land. So Antarctic is referring to the latitude. Okay, so R. Next question, R is the latitude for this line. So 2 marks here, right? R ialah garisan latitude yang menegak di permukaan bumi, right? This is your longitude. So it's not latitude, sorry. Menegak supposed to be long, sorry, longitude. Okay, ayah garisan longitude yang menegak di, just menegak lah, don't need to write down di permukaan bumi. Menegak dari kutub utara. So that's why just I already mentioned half circle. Kutub utara ke or hingga kutub selatan pada atas. So permukaan bumi, or the short term for permukaan bumi is globe. So globe is a full sphere, a full sphere. Okay. So garisan R yang bernilai. So what's the nilai for R? 30 darjah barat, terletak di bahagian barat. Ya. Di bahagian barat bumi. Bahagian barat permukaan bumi. So how do we know is barat? Due to the words is B here, so which means 30 degree. 30 degree to the west. So in your form 2, all the degree here is going to connect to the time zone. So that's why 360 degree is the one full speed, right? Equals to 24 hours. So which means 15 degree is equals to 1 hour. So which means this is 30 degree. And if this is the GMP for the time zone now is 12 p.m., then this is 30 degree, which means 2 more time zones slower than the 12 p.m. So which means all the kedudukan B here for this Garisan longitude is actually 10 a.m. compared to the GMP for Kosong Darajah here, which is 12 p.m. So that's how this is what we call time zone. Your Form 1 have to learn all the foundation, which means the basic concept. Then we carry forward to the Form 2 just for another new topic. So that's why Form 1, Form 2 is just the foundation for Form 3. And also we try to learn the longitude and latitude first, right? Okay, so 2-1. So that's why they're asking for kedudukan in Raja 2. So they're asking for titik PR. So we have titik PQR. So write that in your nota. How do we identify the titik? Nana, guys. So how to menentukan the kedudukan? So remember, we always try to combine the latitude first. So latitude plus longitude. So if you write down on your nota for the first line, try to use highlighter to mention the nilai, the value for the PQR is trying to use the latitude first and then longitude. So always garisan melintang plus your garisan menegak. That's the nilai for kedudukan. Okay, so done jotting down. So please try to copy how do we read all the kedudukan. Okay, untuk menentukan titik titik. So which is the titik titik? We have the titik for PQR, right? So P, Q dan R. Okay, haruslah mengenal pasti nilai garisan latitude. Sorry, latitude TITUD, sama diikuti dengan nilai garisan longitude. Okay, so this is your how many marks? 1, 2 marks already. So that's why the third marks is selepas itu mengenal. Yes, that's why be careful of your mic. Mengenal pasti titik persilangan. So mengenal pasti titik persilangan antara kedua dua garisan latitude dan longitude sebagai kedudukan titik. So this is a 3 marks, right? So fourth mark will be contohnya. So you try to mention all the titik PQR for the kedudukan. So contohnya P ialah, so this is alphabet P, sorry, capital P. P ialah, so that's why it's the P value. So P value is the latitude first, 75 degree north. And then the longitude is 45 degrees Islam Timur. So this is your 75 and 45. P ialah 75 degree north, just give one space, and then 45 degree east. So you can use bracket. You can use bracket to refer to the titik P, Q. Ya, contohnya P ialah how much and then Q for how much lor. Okay, so for Q, do you guys know the kedudukan for Q? Q is below the P. So always latitude first is 33.7 degree north. And then the longitude for Q is 45 degree barat. So 37 and 45. 37 north and then 37 and 45 barat now. 45 barat. Okay, so which means timur, bahagian timur. So right hand side, so barat, left hand side. So the last kedudukan will be the titik R right dan R ialah. So can anyone tell me the readings kedudukan for R? I'll show you guys latitude first and then longitude later. So latitude is 32 degree south and then 30 degree west. So 32S, 30B. So 30 degree to the south, 32. And then 30 degree to the west. So that's your 4 marks here. Yeah, so this is your full 4 marks, right? So do not waste time to try another questions donkey. Yeah, because usually for a contour, right, just give one contour will do. Try to mengenal pasti the latitude first. Okay, then the longitude later. So just give one contour will do. So I'm going to give 3 contours so that you guys don't need to waste time to do another question. Just give one contour as a 4th mark. Okay, so E. Guys, whenever I try to put a star, so which means this is referring to the Quebec questions. So what is the keistimewaan Malaysia? Berhampiran dengan latitude R. So latitude R, which is Khatulistiwa. This is going to link to your form 2. I already mentioned, right? Anyone know? Malaysia nearer to the equator line. Sini. PQR, right? Then PQR. Do you return copy for the answer C? Okay, so that's why when you guys are trying to store for the 4 marks, right? Contour give 1 will do. I'm trying to give 3 contour so that I save time for the questions donkey here. Okay, Zining, that's the answer for your P, Q, and R. Okay, Zining. So, here are questions. When Malaysia is nearer to the equator, what does that mean? This is going to link to your form 2, part 4. So, anyone? Keistimewaan Malaysia yang berhampiran di garisan latitude R ialah garisan khatulistiwa yang iklim panas. So which means very warm from January to December is always summer, summer, and summer. So this iklim panas, and then always every month, every few days, every week, we're definitely going to have rain. So this is what we call panas, lembab. sepanjang tahun. Okay, so this is your first mark. Actually, supposed to be 2 marks. Yeah, so garisan khatulistiwa is your first mark. Panas dan lembab is the other 2 more marks. So, according to your science knowledge, what is the living thing? Biosphere. Biosphere is going to need a lot of sunlight, which is panas, and a lot of rainwater, which is lembab. What is the living things, guys?
Plant.
Plants. So terdapat berbagai tumbuhan semula jadi sesuai ditumbuhi di kawasan Malaysia. So guys, this one don't need to copy. All the plants able to adapt to our iklim khatulistiwa, which is panas dan lemas sebanyak tahun. So which means this is our tropical rainforest, which is hutan hujan tropika. So this is the keistimewaan. So when you guys are trying to learn the bab tree, right? From tree, right? Hutan hujan tropika in Malaysia. And then we also have some tropical rainforest in Africa, in the world largest rainforest tropical, which is Amazon, right? But Malaysia tropical rainforest is the world most ancient one. Only us. No other country is going to become as old as our tropical rainforest. Why? Because Malaysia mempunyai hutan hujan tropika yang paling tua di dunia secara kota manusia. It's not artificial. It's just that our authority from government as Jabatan Alam Sekitar, or let's say the Jabatan Perhutanan, they are just going to get all the budgets from government. So which means our government spent a lot of budget, try to send all the scientists, all the geologists, and then including all the botanists, go into the jungle, try to preserve and conserving the plants. So the plants is going to show as habitat for all the wild animals. So this is why we are proud of our tropical rainforest, the most ancient tropical rainforest in the world. So we still have a lot of species already extinct in other rainforest, tropical forests, but our tropical rainforest, we still have some species no longer able to survive in other regions. So this is the proud of Malaysia, the pride. They are the most ancient tropical rainforest. So guys, the remaining exercises I don't need to try, right? So students like Zining, if you guys are not my students, right? We have only five more minutes. So which means this is already planned before. We have still the part 3 and 4 and 5, right? So that's why I will try to allocate 1 week before your midterm exam. So let's say after the midterm seminar, right, for April, I'm going to allocate, let's say early May for your extra class early morning in either Saturday or Sunday. So that's why we are going to practice every single exercises. So this is why we are not going to finish up all the nota. So that's why it depends on teacher wanted to focus on which chapter. So that's why the main concern for the seminar here, right, is not the content, guys. The content you guys can learn from your school teacher, can learn from the normal tuition class. So whatever I'm trying to do for the past hour is, according to the questions, we try to write the similar marks. I keep trying to teach you guys to highlight the keywords from the soalan and then try to use your knowledge that you guys can gather from your textbook, your normal school class, and or TDC tuition class. Try to use all the knowledge to fulfill the marks required by the exercises. So guys, 5 more minutes, right, before we end the class. So please do not draw on the screen. Other students still have to watch the recording. Okay, we will upload the whole recording to the online YouTube's one daily. So guys, yeah, I'm trying to do 1 more questions for sorry, this is kedudukan, right? So goes to question number 4. I think 3 marks here you guys can solve. Okay, 3 marks are tiga pandang for 5 to 10 latitude. How do I know it's latitude? Because it's utara. So utara or selatan is latitude. So just try to find the 3 pandang for 3 marks. So that's why every marks showing from the exercises, you guys have to make sure you guys are able to score full marks. So please read the questions carefully, highlight the keyword. So 5 to 10. 5 to 10 latitude. So what is the 3 city? We have Georgetown, Alostar, Kota Kinabalu, and Sandakan. So we're supposed to have 4 marks. So when you guys trying to write out the 4 city here, are you guys going to get 4 marks here? Impossible, Kingsley, which is only 3 marks maximum. Okay, so I'm really sure you guys the answer. I'm not going to write down within the page, but you guys know where to find the 3 city from the 4 city here. Can I, guys? So next question, 3 more city for 105 Timor, 120 Timor. So that's why Timor is what we call longitude. So that's why I draw for you all 105 to 120. So how many cities is going to become this region? So we have Kuching, Muka, Pinturu, Miri, Kota Kinabalu, and Sandakan. So total we have 6. We just try to mention 3. Understand? Don't need to mention 6. Don't need to mention 4. We just try to mention 3 from the city I circle for you all. Okay? Can I? So 4 marks again on your knowledge. Depends on knowledge. What is the langkah-langkah untuk menentukan kedudukan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur? So Kuala Lumpur. This is Kuala Lumpur. So guys, what is the first langkah? I already mentioned. Always start from the latitude first, and then the longitude. So guys, what is the latitude for Kuala Lumpur? We have 0, we have 5. So which means this is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So which means this is your 3 degree utara. And then after that, we are trying to identify the longitude, right? So longitude, this is 100, then this is 101. East long Timor. Okay, so just write down your answer. Supposed to be your 3 degree utara and 101 degree Timor. So you identify but still not able to score for the 4 marks, right? Because yes, guys, midterm seminar is not trying to teach as many as possible. Midterm seminar is depends on how many you guys can learn and try to use the knowledge here to score for your full marks. That's why I'm not rushing. I'm going to give extra class. So that's why before ending the class, another 2 more minutes, copy this last langkah and try to check your answer from your objective and then get my contact number. I'm going to give extra class. Okay, for your bab 3, 4, 5. Not going to cover the bab 6. So, untuk menentukan kedudukan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur haruslah menentukan garisan latitude. So to need to mention the garisan melintang first. Menentukan garisan latitude dan garisan longitude seterusnya. Akhirnya menggunakan titik persilangan untuk menentukan nilai kedudukan Kuala Lumpur. Yaitu, so what's yaitu? We already find out the answer, right? So which is your 3 and 10? 101, sorry. 3 degree utara space. So 101 degree and your timur, right? Timur. So that's your total 4 marks here. So where is the 4 marks? First mark, menentukan garisan latitude. Second mark, garisan longitude for the second stage. And then try to menggunakan titik persilangan to menentukan the nilai kedudukan, which is your 4th mark for the real contour, for the real readings, which is 3 and 101. That's your 4 marks here. So the following kedudukan you guys can identify on your own, right? Can I? So done copy. So before I end my class, that's my contact number. For those who are lazy to attend for the extra class because your time is so fully occupied by other curriculum is okay. Just try to get the final answer after I done preparing it. Maybe after the April. Lah. Yeah. Okay. 2170884. In order to get the full set answer, I'm going to prepare to write and then to type out the answer. Okay, so before we end the class, last 1 minute, try to copy all the answer from the objective. So that's why all the exercise here is not 100% going to come up in your exam. We just try to choose those relevant and then the easier questions for you guys to refer, just to practice. The exam type answer most likely is going to come up from our TDC tuition nota. So try your best to finish up all the exercises. So if you want those exercises answer that I'm not going to discuss during my class, just let me know which page you needed to answer that. I'm done preparing, I send it to you. So always try to get my team contact number. Don't need to put comma, Matthew. Just the latitude value, give a space. So let's say just now we try to write the answer for Kuala Lumpur is 3 degrees north, right? Give some space only. And then 101 degree Timor. So the value, just give some space. Do not add comma, then it's going to minus 1 full marks. 1 full marks is going to get deduction. So please do not waste the mark. So page number 25. Question 1 is C. Question 2 is boy. Question 3 is not relevant to your bab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's your bab 6. So that's why this is your A. So question 4 is A. Question 5 is boy. Question donkey is your bab 6. 7 is still your bab 6. So 6 is donkey. 7 is boy. 8 is boy. 9 is donkey. So this is the first 3 questions related to the bab 6. So not covered yet. Yeah. So question number 10 is your bab 5, which we are going to enter for our current bab 3 and bab 4, week 3 and week 4 syllabus. So for my current students, we're done learning all the continent and then the Lautan, which is the ocean, and then the sea, and then the straits, right? So our upcoming class after the exercises, we are going to enter the bab 5 known as Pergerakan Bumi. So Pergerakan Bumi, so which means the earth crust is actually trying to move around, known as tectonic plates. Okay, so number 10 is cat, 11 is apple, 12 is donkey, 13 is donkey, 17 is donkey, 15 is cat, 16 is apple, 17 is boy. So last 3, 18 cat, 19 boy, 20 donkey. So that's it for your participations. Okay, so see you guys on the normal class. Yeah, so guys, remember, seminar is not for revising the full 5 chapter. That's what we call learning from normal class. Seminar is trying to focus on answering technique. Okay. Bye, Zhexiang. See you on next week. Bye, guys, Matthew. Bye, Bailey.
Bye.
Bye, guys.